Welcome. This is the Town of Darien Sewer Commission regular meeting, Tuesday, July 11th, 2023. Calling the meeting to order at 4:30 or close enough in room 206 at Town Hall. I'm going to do our minutes first. First item on the agenda is approve the minutes of June 6th, 2023.
I had no changes,
I didn't see any either, but
Oh.
doesn't mean there aren't.
It was all approved,
so I'll make a motion to approve them as written.
right.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. Any
Second.
further discussion?
Cool. First, second.
First,
One, two.
second.
Thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
The minutes are approved. Okay, I'm going to take the agenda out of order and jump to 5C, Superintendent's Report on 223 Long Neck Point Road. Who's up?
I could take this one. We reported that we went out to bid and got some prices to dig, put plates in the road, and look for the T. Since we last met, we got in touch with a reputable firm that does tapping sleeves and valves, and gave us reasonable assurances that they've done hundreds of these before on SDR 21 type PVC low pressure pipes. So we're getting very comfortable that this is possible successfully, without problems, without damage, without sewer leakage. I was authorized to proceed in ordering the tapping sleeve and valve, which had, 4 or 6 week lead time. We are expecting to get the material on July 24th, the week of July 24th. So if we dig and we don't find a T, we will have the option of putting in the tapping sleeve and valve at that time. Of course, we have to line up contractors. I can't tell you on the 24th, we're going to get the part and we're going to be digging, but all the pieces are coming together.
Sounds good.
As close to the 24th as possible, right? As close as to receipt of the part as
As
possible.
soon as we get them, we'll talk to the contractor about digging.
Name for the record.
Leslie Sutton, that sounds great. And I might not see you next month.
I hope we don't.
You're always welcome.
That's what you said last time.
I know, and I forgot the cheese.
I was wondering about that cheese, Leslie.
She got in the hat. Okay, well, it's sounding better.
Okay.
Thanks, Darren.
We have,
Thank you.
we
Take care.
have a clear solution at least a reasonable time frame.
Great.
Great.
Darren, we mentioned earlier that there's gonna be some other taps that are needed because of the additional homes where Plumfield School used to be, or?
Yeah, they got wind that we were doing what we're doing and decided to wait and see what we're doing. And
Pump the brakes.
in the meantime.
So you're the guinea pig. If it works, then they order their parts.
Interesting. I was gonna ask you why you didn't order 3
Well,
of them.
well,
That's a good
they're a
question.
lot of money, it's one reason, but it's interesting that the owner of that property's lawyer contacted us because he didn't know that everybody else was pumping the brakes. That's it.
Okay.
But that's
All right.
ongoing, and
Thank you, Darren. We're going to jump back to our regularly scheduled agenda. We're on to item 3, which is a lot of boilerplate, which thankfully Peter has gone through.
Did you? I have not gone through all of this. It was hard to read.
It's difficult because it's essentially a work order contract.
Okay. I
See-
figured it's boilerplate.
Big picture, this is for,
Us assigning new tasks to them, whether it be a third-party review, whether it be assistance in doing our CCTV work, annual CCTV work, where they coordinate it, they go out, they collect them, they read it, they don't just take them and put them away, they actually go through them. So this will allow us to continue to work with them without having to put together a full contract, basically task-driven.
it's like an on-call
Hourly.
master services agreement,
Yep.
and then you would negotiate a fee
Correct,
Right.
as appropriate.
as appropriate and as needed.
Or they budget a number of hours.
Yeah.
They've been pretty good to be honest with you, at that, so I haven't been disappointed yet, so I don't think it's gonna start now, but it gives us something in writing to go to. A lot of this is from the original contract too, the boilerplate part of it.
So I think Peter had a small nit that he can hand to you, just to correct some grammar.
On the, on the first page, up top, after Colorado 80-129, there should be, it should, I believe, just say, and an office at 44 South Broadway,
Yes.
9th floor.
Oh, yeah, it looks like it's.
They got a
Twice.
couple of them in there, so.
Yeah.
They doubled down on their location
Yeah, that's it.
And an office at, and office
And
at.
office.
at.
Unless they have
And
two
office.
of them.
Take out the second-hand office.
Yeah, something like
And,
that.
yeah,
You'll figure it out. They'll figure it out.
Well, I mean, you know, it's
Unless
something,
someone points to
it's
it.
something that,
So, can I hear a motion to authorize the director, would it be the director?
make that
Or would it be the
motion.
the commissioner? It's me. To authorize the chair to enter into on-call contract with Arcadis.
I make that motion.
Second.
Yep.
Okay, 1, 2. Any further discussion on the motion? All those in favor? Okay.
this is down the road, though, there's not a.
No, it says as needed, right?
Yeah, there's no
Is it?
pressing
Okay.
need for them to do
Is
anything
there
right
something we're
now.
authorizing right now?
Yeah.
No, I think it's something
missed
that if it came up.
Yeah, no, I get
It's like a
that.
subcontract
We have the
agreement.
CCTV work
Oh,
this
he's
year.
he's getting to
We
something.
just had a meeting today, so that this is gonna roll right into us using it to set
Oh.
up.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I should have asked one question.
Okay.
If the rates are changing, do we need to vote on it again? I'm okay either way, I'm just asking the question.
How about
So I know in my contract, there's a provision for rate increases.
Aren't you smart?
I know.
I
CPI
just-
plus?
Yes, sir. I think it's just a fee or 10% or something, but, well, I mean, this is the contract until it's not the contract, so
Yeah.
these are our rates until they're not. I mean, I would say if the contract is modified, we should take another vote.
If they change the rates or anything changes in the
Yeah.
contract, I'll bring it back to you.
Okay.
That's a reasonable question.
The,
Wasn't trying to be difficult, just
Yeah,
figured
no,
out.
I think it's appropriate.
did you vote on it? I'm sorry. Did you guys vote on it?
We did.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's,
I'm,
And then.
Yeah, we okayed it as
Peter and
is.
Reese?
yeah.
Yep.
it's interesting that they use sort of a legal phrase, you know, at the, goes sort of the competent level of the jurisdiction, so to speak.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the way they're gonna enforce.
You're not required to be perfect.
Right.
At least that's what our attorneys tell us.
What's the ability of me getting the chairman's signature?
You have 3 days, or you have to
I
wait
was
till
talking about
August.
like right now.
Oh, well, yeah, we have that little nit, but I can sign the signature
I
page if you
will
want.
change that front page
Okay.
with their permission.
Do you have like an original or a nice copy, or?
How do you feel about that? Look at that.
Let's get it done.
Yeah,
You'll be able to tell right away.
You can't photocopy it.
Introducing Martin Red.
Oh.
The 11th?
You sign it regularly?
Yes. Wow. Stamp. Or actually before I stamp it.
That's good. Yeah, I'm out of town for the next 2 weeks, so don't call me.
Enjoy. You deserve it. You can, I think we can.
You can try to call me, I'm not gonna answer. All right, item number 4, policy and procedure for proposed developments. We've got something that looks like Mr. Gentile edited based on some prior comments.
Based on your comments of last month, I made changes I thought were appropriate and highlighted them in yellow for you.
Yeah.
Do we have a list of areas of concern? I mean,
They would change.
I went back and looked at what Arcadis is doing. I don't, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, I don't think those are necessarily areas where there's a sewer capacity issue, are they? They're just, things are falling apart and we have to fix them.
Those highlighted areas, if you will, were ranked according to what they found during the inflow and infiltration work that they did, whether it was flow analysis at night or meter readings or, any type of testing that may have done, just said, hey, we have stuff getting into the pipe now, it shouldn't be getting in, regardless of how it got in there.
Okay.
And that's kind of raised the level of different sections, different areas. Not a capacity issue, but more of the I&I that we were trying to identify. These lengths of pipe actually showed significant, others did not.
So do you keep an area of concern list?
Of where we have concerns with our sewer
It said they're
system.
required when the proposed developments at the very end, it says contributing to a sewer infrastructure area of concern. I was just wondering if there was a list. Because I said, well, I wonder what those areas of concern are, and I said, well, they must be at least something to do with what Arcadis is doing, except that those didn't always look to me like necessary flow capacity
We have,
challenges.
you want to say we have intimate knowledge of the system based on our maintenance records and how we go out, we treat certain areas because of root issues or grease issues. Those are the areas that impact our capacity. I have not found since I've been here an area that I need to be concerned with capacity based on true flow and volume of pipe. Its capacity, design capacity. So I haven't found that yet.
Okay.
And that will be an area of concern. That's when you start. But the other ones, we are maintaining those quote-unquote areas of concern
Okay.
so that they flow properly.
And that would be dry weather.
This is wet weather.
No, that's.
I don't want to distinguish between dry weather and wet weather flow. If you ask me, do we have a problem when it rains 7 inches in our system? Yes, we do. But if you're asking me if the groundwater's up and we get an inch of rain, am I concerned about overtopping on these systems? No, I'm not. Not since we fixed what happened on Mechanic Street and we cleared those lines. We have been doing well. And, we will continue to identify those areas and keep them clean.
So, area of concern is not a list or a defined term. It's more of a catch-all to say, one of you two guys or one of the other guys might be concerned about it, so you're gonna flag it as an area of concern.
Sure. If someone's done a study or done an analysis on a section that we believe may need a little bit more information before we can either approve or move forward a development or a tie-in or a connection, we may ask them to do more work.
So I guess maybe we don't need to have parentheses around it or capitalize it. So it might be more to the point if it's just area of concern in lowercase. So that's basically like any area that you're concerned about.
Maybe even sewer and infrastructure, because it's just a general
Yeah.
sewer infrastructure area of
All
concern,
lowercase.
without it being, because that's I immediately said, well, is there a list?
Yeah, it looked more important than.
I had a little question. All development.
Peter, before you go
applic-
forward, you would
Let's
like-
finish on this area of
Yeah.
concern before we go over to you, Peter.
Sure.
So-
You want me to eliminate
So just
all the
in that,
capital letters in
Yes.
those last couple words?
and parentheses.
Yeah, it's just, no,
Okay.
make it so
Quotation
important,
marks.
make
Yeah.
it more general.
Oh, there's
Yeah.
parentheses?
Quotations, you're.
Okay.
I'm gonna disagree and say it should be a wet weather area of concern. I don't know what the metric would be to measure that, though. The storm event, the volume, the groundwater. But the EPA says wet weather area of concern.
Well, if you go higher in the document,
Talks about
and
wetlands.
it talks about when you,
I know.
the flow metering to do, so you have to do it over at least 2 months.
I get that. I
And you
get
have to
that.
capture
Yeah.
a storm event. So if you capture that storm event, you're capturing wet weather.
Are you referencing those EPA regulations?
Yeah, that's what they,
Okay.
so it's a bit of tail chasing.
Well,
I know what how to study it is, but it's not just, we have a root in the pipe, let's clean it out, that's a concern.
Yeah.
It could be, how big is it, what was it built for, what have we got now, what are the rain events, I&I is an issue, and all those things too. So an area of concern could be, today, 2023, we have I&I that is of concern based on this pipe size.
Yeah, and in
So
my,
it
in
could
my
all
mind,
change.
keeping it general
I get
means
that.
it could be any one of those things. If we didn't say roots, we didn't say grease, we didn't say capacity.
Could we
We
put
said
including wet weather
anything
then?
that we're worried about. It could be the pump station, could
Do
be.
you want to add after concern, do you want to add including in wet weather?
I guess the flow monitoring does contemplate that. I see
I
where you're
think-
going with that.
Yeah, I think up above, they talk about wet weather.
My only issue with that is,
How do you measure it then if it's
out
dry
of the
season?
7 of us here, come up with a consistent, tell me what wet weather is.
No, And
And I think that's fair to say that it should be from,
Well,
soup to nuts, or from
It
the
certainly-
0 to 100, whatever you like it to be,
certainly-
but.
We do it with the 50-year storm, with the 100-year storm. There is a metric for measuring stormwater management. I don't know how you overlay that with sewer, with I&I, because it's gonna change. I know where you're going, maybe I'm being too specific.
Hopefully it's going down.
What's that?
No, it
Yes.
should, it should.
It's certainly what happened, it's not what happened in Hudson Valley.
But you can't
Over
plan
the
for,
weekend.
you can't plan for those, and that's your
No, you
point.
can't.
That's your
No.
point.
And you want to be consistent, but you want to get some good information, and I don't know, 95% of the time, you want the system to function properly, outside Mother Nature's heavy impacts that she can put on your system.
But I guess I keep coming back to most of that was built in 1938. And here we are, they didn't contemplate the development we have in 1938. So how big was it built for in 1938? I mean, any car built in 1938, you wouldn't put it on the Indy 500 and think it would run. So where is that point?
You just saw them figure that out down there at Mechanic and under the railroad bridge and those pipes when it started out with, oh my God, it doesn't work. And then all of a sudden it was, yeah, we have plenty of capacity, even with the development that was nowhere near those pipes back in 1938.
Agreed. And that shocked me.
We also used to have 5-gallon flush toilets.
That's the factor of
You
10.
make that argument.
There are a
right? You
lot
make that
of
argument,
things
right?
that change.
Made
Yeah.
a ton of improvements in how
Yeah.
our sewer system handles and moves water right now.
And honestly,
Yeah.
the population of Darien now is about the same as it was in 1970.
Plus or minus, yeah, it's close.
It's pretty close.
Yeah.
And we have more water efficient fixtures. And we did that little graph
Yeah.
where we showed over the course of 5 years, the use is going down. It's the I&I that's spiking.
We have
Yeah.
more water.
And the system's.
You showed us that
Yeah.
when we did all that flood stuff.
And
We're having more
I'll just
water.
give you an aside, I just got the water, the flows, total flows for the year,
Yeah.
for off of our crossings to
Oh,
Stanford.
yeah, July, June 30th.
Last year it was 850,000, this year it's 750,000
That's
to
great.
Stanford.
Nice.
It dropped 13%.
That's great.
That's great.
Can't tell me we didn't get rain or didn't have high
Yeah, no,
groundwater because
totally.
we had
That's
both.
great.
No, we
That's
had
So
rain.
what's going on? What's happening? And, you can't tell me those
We
two
didn't
pipes I
have,
fixed on
we didn't have
Sunset
Elsa and
didn't
Ida, so that's something.
What's that?
We didn't have Elsa and Ida.
We did not.
Which is something.
I guess Ed, what I'm looking for is not possible because of the dynamic nature of a sewer shed and the systems, but to allow experts to use their own pocket protector and slide rule and come up with their own methodology hasn't yet yielded a consistent result.
That's
That's what I'm worried
That's
about.
why you have Darren and I to take a look at it with a
Okay.
little heavier approach
And-
and a concern for our system.
And what I was, hoping becomes more frequent, which is the Arcadis review, which we now have a contract to use for. And bill back to the.
So,
I would just like to ask one little question.
Yeah, oh yeah, go ahead.
All development applications to whom?
I guess all, right? So whether, basically anything that will eventually, anything that, it's a good question. If it needs a permit, if it needs a permit from the Planning and Zoning Commission, if it needs a permit from the Environmental Protection Commission, or if it just needs a zoning permit or building permit, any development, that's the way, those are the three categories I would include: PZC, EPC, or just zoning permit, building permit. So, and then the threshold is down below, which is
increase.
the increase of
The delta,
demand.
The delta.
Yeah.
You're in the first paragraph?
Second bullet.
Second.
It says all development
developments,
applications.
Okay.
What does it mean by all
Planning and
development?
zoning, sewer commission.
Could be anything.
Planning and Zoning
Variance.
Commission, Environmental Protection Commission, or zoning permit, building permit. Any development proposal that needs
Land use approval.
land use approval or a zoning or building permit. Does that sound right?
Planning, zoning, EPC,
And just even sometimes you don't have to go to the
Zoning permit.
boards, it's just a zoning, ZEO, zoning permit, building permit
Zoning.
kind of situation.
There's no filling and grading, there's no real reason to go to a land use.
Okay. I'll make the appropriate edits.
All right. Thank you, sir. Any other comment on that for the
No,
time
thank
being?
you, thank you for working
Looks
on
good,
it.
thank you for continuing to.
No,
At least no one can walk in and say.
Reese, did you want to talk about the last bullet point on there? I think you and I spoke this afternoon about it.
Yeah, I heard this from Eric Yostin through Rick Talamelli, who, I guess through Jeremy, that in order to back charge an applicant, we need to have it on our regs.
Oh, yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
we put that on for August when we do the rate change.
Oh, like actually in the
In the
regulations?
regs.
Okay.
At the public information, we'll add another
Yeah.
item for this, so
Yeah.
in September.
And maybe put this as
Yes.
well in there.
I agree. We
I
want
think-
that to be clear moving forward, that if we have to review your professional's report, we're going to charge you to do that.
Okay.
Would
Good-
it
good
make
catch.
sense to have another option other than Arcadis, to do the same thing, an RFP for their hourly rate? And so you could have multiple people, like,
I know what Jeremy does. Well, right now they
Ty
have,
and
a-
Bond
they have
is
a, they
like-
have a master agreement with Ty and Bond. They've had that for a little less than a year. But before that, they used to just go to people and ask for proposals.
okay, all right. So we could always
So
do
we'd still
this
have the
option.
ability to do that.
Cool.
Yeah, and the applicant is using time bond, then you have to go to somebody
Yeah,
else.
Yeah.
fair enough.
And we, yeah, so.
Quick, I'll be back.
In the event of a dispute,
Okay.
are people our final?
Oh, over who should review it? There's never been a
No, I
dispute.
mean, over,
Oh. Well, it's up to the commission to consider
Weigh the experts.
to weigh the experts and make a decision. And at that point, we can do whatever
You
we
can
want.
choose to believe who you want.
You can flip a coin
We can
sometimes.
believe our guy or
That's the
their
whole
guy.
point of getting the second opinion.
Or the
Yeah.
third.
If there's only one opinion, you have to take that opinion.
yeah, good.
We have-
We ran into that, and we went to court over that.
We ready to go to the superintendent's report?
I think we are.
Okay, fire away. You lost your assistant.
I did. He's addressing something coming from our office, I think.
Okay, sounds good.
So,
Sewer emergency.
You've got good ears.
yeah. And if I could hear it here, it's loud then, right? Okay, so let's talk about A. We did put the Phase 2 rehab construction out to bid. And that bid is due to open on July 27th. And we got some good feedback already from a couple of the contractors that we work with, and had a meeting today with Arcadis to kind of maybe stimulate a few others. We're going to follow up with some more phone calls, make sure people have got the plans, have gotten the specifications, and are actually looking into this. We gave them a little longer lead time than we normally do. Only because I think with the holidays and the summertime,
Yeah, give him another week or two, make sure we get, people taking a good look. Yeah.
you don't mind if we just skip over B right this second?
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll come back to B.
Yeah, we have I think we have a map or something that
Yeah.
Darren can speak to. So, we're at D, 246 Norotan. We have not heard back from the property owner or the contractor about pulling a permit. So I drafted a letter that's a little more assertive and firm about what we plan to do now. Just to keep it short for you folks, I've told them that we've been left no alternative but to attach to his sewer lateral records our information regarding the defective lateral to his home. This information now will be available to all individuals inquiring about his property. If in the future you decide to make any repairs to the sewer lateral, please be sure to contact us and obtain a permit. This will allow us to update our lateral file records. I think I left it
Yep.
pretty, this is,
It's not too-
it's just been a lot of waste of time now trying to chase the guy down.
Yeah.
If he doesn't and is not concerned about it, or he's done the work without our permission, then, or in a permit, then he's on his own right now.
We could sort of do that going forward, rather than the back and forth come in every month. Just attach that, say, when you want to clear it up, sell your house,
I
whatever.
don't mind doing the two, I understand if the thing hasn't backed up into their house, they're probably not concerned.
Yeah.
A little pressure's good.
But just a little reminder, then after that, put it to bed.
Yeah.
So, if that's okay with you folks, I'm gonna send that out.
You have our blessing.
Okay.
Jumping back up to 5B,
Yeah.
Woodway
Sorry.
/ Hoyt.
In the package is a map, an easement map hopefully in there.
Yep. Look at that.
Big copy if you
An
want to see
easement
that.
map.
We finally got the surveyor out of the Woodway resident. He has passed that on to the Hoyt Street resident. And in addition to that, we gave the Woodway resident a sample of a sewer easement and maintenance agreement for the shared lateral. Now, he's waiting to hear back from her. We have reached out directly to her in the meantime to try and
Facilitate.
elicit a response. It's taking a long time, but we haven't let it go yet. On the map, what you can't see is her pool house in the back actually connects to his sewer near the property line. So the sewer lines aren't shown, it's an easement map, but that portion that you see that says easement, that's the sewer lateral that's in that area is used by both the Woodway resident and the Hoyt Street resident. So the maintenance agreement will apply to that entire section of lateral. And we'll continue to reach out to the Hoyt Street resident.
Complicated.
And I guess I could go one step further and preemptively tell you the Woodway resident took our sample easement maintenance agreement, doctored it up, and sent it off. So I'm confident that
We're getting closer.
it's fine. I suspect you folks will want us to have town council review it, as you have anyway, even if it was prepared by an attorney, maybe especially if it was approved.
I guess once they both agree on what's in front of us, then we can,
Right,
Yeah.
not now, I'm just
Yeah.
preemptively, in the past, the commission has always said, yeah, we understand that it's the same as the last one, yes, we understand that a lawyer prepared it, we want our attorney to review it, that's what you guys
Yeah,
have
that
been pretty
makes sense.
consistent about that.
That's why we
A lot
have.
can get lost in the details.
excellent. That's it on B?
That's it.
All right, we can jump back down to 5E, Stony Brook Pump Station. Flood
So we
protection.
have hired a contractor to come and start building the enclosures around our window wells for the building. So now we have the door dams and the window wells are going to be finished up to a certain level. Currently working on them for their cost estimate to enclose the
Generator?
transfer station, transformer.
Oh, really?
We met with Eversource. They gave us some dimensions around the outside. We are going to build an enclosure around it, leave the front open for their doors. And we are purchasing the drop-in-place door protections for the water dams.
Wow.
They come in sections, and this will take us up to about 3 feet or so around that transformer, if in case we were to get what,
Great.
Yeah.
some folks to the west got the other day. So we would be prepared to put that in place.
Awesome.
And it'd be better than the pile of dirt and sandbags that we have there.
Faster.
Yes, definitely. You look like you have a question.
It's a human control.
I get that.
And I guess, have we foreclosed the option or effort to elevate the transformer to the proper elevation?
I've diverted efforts to raising the generator, and we'll continue to work on the transformer, but I can't leave it out there by itself.
So again, this is something we know we can accomplish in the shorter term, so we should accomplish it,
A very short period of time.
but not forget about what our ultimate goal ought to be.
Short-term
Correct.
solution.
Okay, good.
Because I think the ultimate goal to get there is going to take a little bit of work and time
Yeah.
that I'm not comfortable giving up right now.
Yeah, no, I mean, you see the pictures from Vermont this week, and, you know, Irene's coming again, Ida's coming again,
If not worse.
yeah.
So that, and like I said, we're working on with the part to elevate the generator right now and getting prices for a new one.
Thank you.
Sure.
Any further questions for the director on E? F, Cherry Lawn Nature Center repair.
Curious to know what happened.
Want me to get out?
Yeah.
There was a misaligned pipe. The pipe was slated to be relined. It's through Cherry Lawn Park in front of the Nature Center. It couldn't be relined. It was misaligned. The pipe was misaligned to the extent that a liner could not be passed through and installed. We did an open cut excavation successfully. We waited for the nature center to be closed in between programs when they have school and before they started their nursery school, whatever summer programs there were. We chose a window. The contractor was able to cooperate with our schedule. Everything went well. There's 4 Van Fernco's on a PVC section of pipe which replaced, which connects to 2 VCP pipes. And the ends were concrete encased, so hopefully it won't miss a line, and particularly once we get the liner in there, that'll further strengthen it and make it into a new continuous pipe.
What caused the failure?
It looks like settlement caused the failure. We have no reason, unfortunately. It looks like there was a failure here before. So
Is this the pipe that comes from the nature center out to the road? Or this is a different pipe that runs
No.
across Terry Lawn Park?
Yes,
I've
from-
seen that, because the pipe that, I was part of the building committee for the nature center. And I know that that's a low-pressure system, there's a grinder down in the back.
they have a grinder pump to
Yeah.
service, yes. But
Yeah.
the pipe that we replace is gravity. It comes from Woods End
Okay.
Road.
I've seen it on the maps, and
Okay.
I've wondered, that isn't the nature center's pipe. I don't think
Yeah.
you have their low flow, or their low pressure, whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's not on the map.
Very interesting area. There used to be a school there.
Yeah.
So we're
I'm
looking
very
very
familiar.
carefully at all the laterals that we don't have to and don't want to
Mhm.
reinstate and open back up.
Yeah, there were a lot of buildings there at
Yeah.
one point.
Yeah, apparently. I haven't seen them, but
Extensive dye testing done up there so that we could find which ones are still active and which ones are not.
We had a lot of trouble putting that building where it is. I mean, there were one thing after another that was underground that we were
It's easy.
expecting.
it's done and it'll be relined and hopefully
All right, thanks.
not in our lifetimes.
Any further questions on F? All right, G, 346 Heights Road.
So, with the new, the change in development and the concerns of ourselves as well as the commission, we asked their engineers to provide us with a sewer computations for their flows, peak flows from their site. So I had them mimic what Ty and Bond had put together, breaking out the restaurants, the retail, and so on. I approved the gallons per day per student and staff members for the facilities to make sure that they were using the proper daily flows, average daily flows, as you see on the back page of your agenda package.
How does this compare to what the prior approval application was?
Interesting, I thought that we'd see some of an increase or some kind. As a matter of fact, it decreased by 10%.
Wow.
Okay.
And these numbers are conservative.
Yeah.
I made sure that they stayed up to see what we would get.
Peaking factor.
Yep. So
I guess the school uses less than a restaurant, and I think he said there were a few less bedrooms in this version than the last version.
There's a few more bedrooms, but that wasn't it was the school. It doesn't use as much per square foot as you would think.
Yeah.
Because there was no cafeteria, there's no
meals
showers or
prep,
anything
no
like
Our
that.
showers.
little
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah. They don't even like using the bathroom.
This projects forward for
Have to eat.
the other one they're gonna build.
Well, is this the
Yeah,
one
this
that's
is
on the western side?
This is the one that was just demoed.
Yes,
where
okay.
right.
Jimmy's and the post office used to be.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the only other interesting part is I did take a look at restaurants because and a lot of the flows are derived by total number of seats, if you
Yeah.
will.
Well, yeah.
These gallons per square foot are extremely, extremely conservative.
Yeah, they look pretty high.
So you could, I back figured into it, you could have 550 seats in this restaurant.
Yeah,
So,
when we do it, we look at a patron area versus a back of house area to determine the patron area. We look at a per square foot body count.
Mhm.
And then we look at meals served, based on whether you can get 2 tops or 3 tops in a day. And anyway, it ends up a little lower than these.
So,
And then, and one of the things that I'd love to do is like, where does this flow? Give us a little they flush the toilet here, where does it go in our system?
It
Just
goes
Under the railroad track.
Ah,
under the railroad tracks.
Right,
You know.
I do.
Do you want to
He
do it?
knows.
I can.
And then it ends up at Brookside Pump Station, crossing the river.
Oh, it goes that way.
Really?
See?
It goes all the way
See?
over?
Oh,
I thought some of it went the other way.
He was
cheated.
He was giddy when he found out.
Well, that's what you told me a long time ago when I asked you.
Okay.
Yeah, it goes all the way to
Let's look it up.
Brookside, wow.
I honestly thought it went to Stony Brook for a while, and then when I started looking into the calculation stuff, I wanted to see where it went. It ends up over Brookside.
Well, the East Federal
Oh.
goes straight down to Nearwater. Doesn't stop at Stony Brook.
See, I would have thought it went Du Bois to
Yeah,
Nickerson
that's
and
what
then,
Federal does, I think.
So this goes in a totally different path. That's good to
It
know,
goes-
though.
Goes west, I guess,
Oh, yeah.
down West Ave and then under.
Because where it goes and what's involved and what pump stations and where we might have had issues is critical to
Sure.
how it relates to the system.
Amen.
So that's why I stopped in and looked at the door. We talked. I cheated.
I cheated.
So that's my update on that. I think our approval is still a valid one. I still think it's, the system out there has capacity to handle these two developments there.
Okay.
Craig, one question would be, once tenant selection, say these larger projects, if they did all restaurants, it would change the math, wouldn't it?
It would.
So we're pre-approving the concept of something, and then as it becomes more refined, would it ever need to be re-looked at?
Well, I guess that goes to what we've, so basically you go back to this
this trigger
thing that
event,
we're
yeah.
trying to do. And
Yeah.
basically, we're
If
saying
there's
if
a
you're
standard
increasing
change.
by more than
Yeah.
3750, we're gonna look at it.
Right.
So-
Got it.
So if you went from a liquor store to a restaurant, you might be increasing by that.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Um,
That's sort of, yeah.
But, you know, we're not gonna look at everything.
Right.
All right, any more questions on G? All right, 5H,
City of Stanford WPCA agreement extension has been completed and signed off.
another 5 years, well, I guess another 4 years, until we gotta start talking again.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a
We've
brutal,
got 4 years to get our flow down.
4 years.
but it wasn't a brutal fight this time, which was nice. You guys, last round,
But
a
all
lot
they'll
of
do,
bruises.
An extension is in everybody's best interest, because no one wants to sit around for a year arguing about, flows.
But
But
it's-
And,
it's discouraging because when you get your flows down, the rates will go up.
yes, well, yeah, exactly.
Good point.
I guess, Peter.
Same thing happens here, if people use
My-
less
my-
water,
If you
we have
use
to
less.
increase
if
the
you-
rates to
if-
cover
If
the.
everybody uses less electricity, the rates will go up. Has to.
Pensions,
Because they gotta
healthcare,
support
the
the
infrastructure.
machinery.
Yeah.
I'm just keep hoping that
But that's
Stanford
all right.
continues to build,
I don't mean to be a
and we
killjoy.
continue to reduce our I&I.
A realist.
Well, again, I've said it 100 times before, I am very excited to finish Phase 2 and Phase 3, and then check the meters.
We have a schedule today, we just met today about
Phase
moving
3.
forward, and we'll start design for Phase 3 probably January of 2024.
Hmm.
It'll give us a chance to, or sooner if we can, but right now, it's the construction of Phase 2
Yeah.
is critical. I want to make sure that goes right. And we're going to be all over the place with that. It's spread out a lot more than Old Kings Highway South pipelining, so
Yeah.
let's get it right. Let's do it once,
Okay, so it basically will be in the same place next year with releasing 3.
with the hopes that by the end of 2024 that we have finished.
Yeah, and then so the spring of '25, we could do a flow meter check.
We were talking, Lindsay and I were talking, just, do we slap the meters back in the same locations during the same time period? Do we get them in for like
Yeah.
March, April, May, and
Yeah.
see if those wet weather flows or high groundwater flows, or?
I think that would be, I don't think we need to do all 9 to give ourselves a check, but I think selecting a few that make sense, absolutely.
I think it's got a lot of work going on.
And by that point, we might choose or not choose to look at another area of town too, so.
We talked about that today too.
Yeah.
Do we start doing camera work outside Stony Brook area? Because we basically, if you look at the SSCS report, they drew a line and said, these areas we should do first, and we are,
Yeah.
and have. These areas down here, we're not showing a lot of I&I maybe we go to another area. And
Because you have some in mind that you'd like to get some data on, I
I
think.
do. I struggle with the part where if it's easy to see with a camera, everybody would be doing it. I mean, the night flow analysis that they were doing out there was critical, because we were seeing flows at 2 o'clock in the morning
That had no
that
explanation.
had no reason to be there.
Yeah.
So high groundwater.
Yeah,
You
some
know,
pumps.
and then the
Some
smoke
pumps.
testing that we did and direct connects that we found,
Yeah,
some pumps that we found.
yeah.
So like I said, it was easy to do with the camera. I would just hire a camera guy to come in here and do it. I just don't think it's that easy. And we put together such a good program with this. I want to see this through before I change the pace.
Yes, no, I was imagining if it's the spring of 2025 and we're putting a handful of flow meters in, that we might do some more investigation.
Sure. I want to start phase 2 of the I&I program.
Yeah,
And something with
And
a
look for money from Clean Water Grant again.
the sump pump affidavit thing, I don't wanna let that die completely either. Some sort of affirmative action on the homeowner's part. I have one, I don't. It's hooked up, it isn't.
Everybody on the sewer system needs to sign off on
Send it
that?
out in the bill,
Yeah, all right.
right?
And then you just keep track who didn't send
They have a
one back.
lateral file.
Maybe we can set it up with some type of little QR code, and they can log on and they can put their information in, and we get it via computer. You don't have to send anything, you don't need a stamp, you don't need any of that.
What'd you say?
What if they lie and send it back anyhow?
Assume 15% of them do, but at least you got 85% of them.
Yeah,
telling them.
like here's how, it's a bang for the buck, put it in the bill with
We'll
a.
keep sending them out and eventually you'll
No,
run
but
through the
I heard from somebody that lived.
15% that don't.
That lived on Lakeside and had a drainage problem, and she told me a plumber, 3 plumbers would hook it up. Said, no way, and their neighbors had the same reaction, so getting the word out does.
So who's the 4th plumber she hired?
No, she's adjusted.
Yeah.
But
Ostracized, that's it.
Yeah, but
anything it takes.
if it's plastic pipe, you don't
I
even
know
need a plumber.
You and I. would
Well,
look-
some of us would need a plumber. He tells me this all the time. You can do it. I'm like, in what world?
YouTube world.
Exactly.
All right. That seems to be the end of the superintendent's report, unless there's any other questions for the superintendent.
And Bob.
Nope.
We will ask whether or not anyone wants to introduce new business. We will ask.
Oh.
You're the superintendent, you can do whatever you want on
Denied.
top 5.
I respectfully acquiesce to
What's the nature of your new business?
I guess it's fair and equitable if
It
you
is.
get the answer to that
I got to
question.
say, to discuss our August 1st meeting.
Oh,
And
okay.
August 8th meeting.
Yeah, so
Possible
schedule
change.
adjustment. Okay, do I have a motion to go into new business?
Yep, so moved.
I have a second. All those in favor?
1, 2.
1,
Peter?
2, 5.
Peter?
Yeah,
Second.
Peter.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think you're going to ask whether or not we can push our August meeting 1 week
1 week to August 8th, if I.
to August 8th. And I don't have a problem with that.
I can do
I
that.
don't normally do that. I normally work my schedule around these, but it's the shortened week right now.
So technically, do you have
Meetings
to,
between the 2 meetings.
you have to cancel the regular meeting and schedule a special meeting, I think?
Special meeting for the 8th.
Okay, we have a motion on the table to cancel the August 1st meeting and regular meeting and create a special meeting on August 8th.
So we do the regular meeting and then the special meeting afterwards? Meeting
No,
following?
we don't meet
At all?
We don't
at
have
all
a
in August, it's
regular meeting.
canceled. The regular meeting's canceled, and then we have a special meeting on the
See
8th.
where you did the first public.
Different this
Do I have a motion?
Yeah, well.
1,
And I'll second it.
2, all those in favor?
Hi.
Okay,
Yeah.
2.
Thank you.
so it is. So at that meeting, one of the agenda items will be to discuss the budget, potential rate changes,
Yeah.
connection fee changes, peer review,
Yeah.
cost fee requirements.
Yeah, expense.
Yep.
And set up possibly for a public hearings on the meeting in September, which I think is the 5th.
Yeah. Right after
So
Memorial Day.
we needed so much time between the 8th and the 5th to do it. I think we have enough time to do
publish.
it.
Well, we still have newspapers to publish in.
Are they going away?
Well, I bet there are communities that don't have newspapers to publish in, I gotta tell you.
Wow.
Not viable.
They'll have to come up with a new way of doing it.
Yeah,
Online.
exactly. Any other requests to go into new business?
I got nothing.
I don't think you've said anything yet, Bob. You feeling all right?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Peter?
I have to confer here with Vice Chairman Hill. It's
No,
after-
no.
It's after 5 o'clock,
I said
right?
after 5 is all
Okay,
yours.
right, I just wanted to check.
Oh, you guys have
I
a
make a
deal?
motion
Hey,
to
that was
adjourn.
being funny.
Second it.
All those in favor? All right, Channel 79, we are done with our meeting.
We had time for levity, so.